Yeah, he has some news from the White House. Jeff, what can you tell us?
Well, as we're sort of, putting this all together here, as Republicans are, being pretty frank in their opposition to the substance of this bill, we are also learning about those ads that were aired against Senator Heller out in Nevada. He is one of the most vulnerable Republicans, and the super PAC that is aligned with this president has decided to run some of those ads. Well, we are told by Republicans who are close to the process that that may have backfired. In fact, our own Jim Acosta is reporting this. He said, "This thing has not moved since last Friday. The needs are not being met for conservatives, so this could have been a key error." Now, these ads, of course, were never played as much as they were initially intended to be. They were smaller buys on digital and other things, but it certainly sent a shot across the bow. And Republican senators, as well as Democratic senators in different years and times, do not necessarily like outside intervention like that here. So that could be one of the decisions that sort of, upset and angered some Republicans, and it did not have the intended effect of urging him to vote for it. It, in fact, may have had the opposite effect. But it highlighted the fact that state by state by state, these individual senators had individual problems and questions and issues with this bill. This was not some just, monolithic partisan effort here. You could look state by state and see, how the uninsured would be affected here. So those ads are now being viewed by Republicans, at least some Republicans, as a potential mistake here. But all that, Anna, I'm sure will be discussed here at this meeting at 4 o'clock when Republican senators come here to the White House and regroup in one respect with, what comes forward for this bill. Because doing nothing now at this point is not an option. This is more than politics at play here. The Republicans own this for the first time in 10 years. They control the House, the Senate, of course, and the White House. So the onus is on them to try and fix this. Now, interestingly, it'll be interesting to see if Democrats are brought in on this process. That is what the president said after the first House failure the first time. He said, well, I may have to reach out to Democrats. That, of course, did not happen. But this, of course, is a bipartisan issue out in the country. Voters are not as concerned about which party fixes it, but they need their health care issues fixed here. So this is a turning point, a moment for this White House, this administration, and for both parties, quite frankly, Anna.
Anna, one other thing I would just reference here is when you look at the analysis of this, about 45%